And that is, to that will be added later, because the absolute autonomy of man was established. A man who no longer believes in God is what wokismo is, right? When Rousseau denies, you understand, Catholicism, Catholic thought, because that is the great contradiction. There are many young people who do not know what they are. They say that being Catholic does not know, then that they adopt ideologies that are contrary to Catholicism. Rousseau says, man is born good, society makes him bad. That is, denies the first fundamental basis of the first Catholic premise, which is original sin, because Christ came to redeem humanity from original sin. So, Rousseau says, original sin does not exist. Man is good by nature. It is society that makes him evil. No, it's the other way around. Society, the possibility that man can fulfill himself and be good because he is wounded by original sin, right? So, today everyone takes, you understand, the ideas that Rousseau has launched without knowing this basic premise of her thought that determines everything. That's why society is bad, the state is bad, but because part of the first premise that man is good and society makes him bad, right? No, look, man is wounded by original sin. He is and is fulfilled in politics. He is together with other men in community. He is because if man does not have community, man then becomes a wolf to man, and from a sum of selfishness he cannot do good. That's why the fundamental Catholic concept of politics is the common good, just as Aristotle had defined it, later understood as Christianized by St. Thomas Aquinas, right? From here the concept of social justice is born, which has nothing to do with it. With socialism, we are neither liberals nor Marxists because both are in their fundamental premises, the first premise of which determines all reasoning, contrary to the Catholic idea. Contrary to the Catholic idea, but this has stopped being studied. Some know this and, with malicious intentions, lie to young people to deceive them. Others do not know this because they have a doctorate in economics and have never studied philosophy. They have never read a book by Rousseau, or Locke or Voltaire, right? And others nothing, because that's how it is. They live because the air is free, it is, and because since everything is commodified, all they are interested in is making money and not asking too much about the first truths. Today, in a world dominated by the global financial oligarchy, where the global financial oligarchy has lost part of its control over the United States with Trump's victory. So the European Union today is the stronghold of that global financial oligarchy that has two arms of domination, a left arm and a right arm. On the one hand, free trade, and on the other hand, gender ideology and racism. And that is its center today, isn't it? The European Union, which has nothing to do with the peoples of Europe. The peoples of Europe suffer from the different leaders who, in reality, don't command their people, but on their behalf. They are managers, they are puppets of the global financial oligarchy. Mr. Macron is a puppet of the global financial oligarchy. Mr. Sanchez is a puppet of the global financial oligarchy. And so on, all or almost all of them. And that is the European Union, isn't it? I've said it many times. It is a dying body. It is a body, it is a prostituted body. A prostituted body that has denied its roots. Europe is either Christian or it is not. John Paul II had said it and shouted it from the bottom of his heart, didn't he? As if giving a cry for Europe to wake up and re-evangelize itself. Europe did not want it. Europe is a body without a soul, or with a completely sick soul, completely sick and deformed. It is enshrining the death of children in their mother's womb as a constitutional right. It is a monster, that is the truth. But of course, people are kept anesthetized, with a small degree of comfort and well-being that is gradually disappearing, isn't it? And anesthetized with bread, little and a lot of circuses. And so, there we have a first level of analysis, that it is the global financial oligarchy against the peoples of the world, trying to impose and dominate the peoples through ideological subordination, through gender ideology, through wokismo, through abortion. These are their great pillars of domination and free trade. So there it is. There is no I do not believe that everything is the same. There is this idea that everyone is the same leads to absolute relativism. It is to the idea that truth does not exist. And that has led to the worst atrocities that man has committed, to the greatest genocide that has been committed in the so-called West, which is the genocide that is carried out every day, every afternoon, every night of unborn children. What happens is that everyone wants to turn a blind eye to this. The biggest genocide in history is the genocide of unborn children. They kill thousands and thousands of unborn children in Spain, Argentina, France, Germany, and the United States. It is merciless. And one sees the footage of a child inside his mother's womb defending himself from the clamps. And they say that he is not a human being. The guy is defending himself from the clamps. None of that matters. Nobody cares. That is the truth. Nobody cares. It goes by every day as if it were nothing because you can't see how the poor thing is inside his mother's womb, and then they are going to use him to do atrocious things. They are going to use him to make makeup for people, for women. They are going to sell the fetus. Well, so that is what the West is today. It is, and that is what nobody wants to report it because that is politically incorrect, because one is an authoritarian. You are an authoritarian who is killing a person, the most defenseless of all, and who on top of that wants to make it a constitutional right, to enshrine death as a constitutional right. Listen to me, I am carrying the child in my womb. Yes, of course, but it is not yours, it is God's. Now, it was born, it is a person, you have no right to kill it. You have no right to kill it. This happens every day. I don't know how many abortions there are, which is a word to cover up the word murder. Murder of the most defenseless of all, who cannot defend himself in Argentina, here, in Mexico, the United States, in Germany, in France, in Italy, in England, in Ireland, wherever you want, it is wherever you want.